Now, this is a short segment, long segment coming up. I want to move fast with him because flu season's here. And he sent me a whole bunch of documents he wants to go over here on the show today. Dr. Peter Glidden, a GCN radio host in his own right. He also advises and works with us at InfoWarsHealth.com. All the videos and information that's at InfoWarsHealth.com. I want to get into drugging all kids now, they say, is good. You're not living in the Twilight Zone. This is really happening. But I've mentioned this 3 times. I'm going to mention it one more time and then get Glidden's take on this and then move on to other issues. I've seen every day a whole bunch, 2 or 3, 4, 5 articles saying there are no side effects from the flu. It's a conspiracy theory to say that there are from flu vaccines or any other vaccine. And here is the News Journal, one I like to use in the last week. Take your medicine. Getting a flu shot is part of being a good neighbor. But I thought if you've taken it, you're protected. Why do I have to take it? And it says there is absolutely no harm from getting a flu vaccine. In fact, if we can show people a document cam shot, I'll actually show them this article right here. There is absolutely no harm from getting a vaccination. Don't let yourself be fooled. Just hold it up. Don't let yourself be fooled with wild rumors. And once he's talking, we can just show it then. Here is the CDC reaction sheet. 20 pages, and then it links to things in some cases that are hundreds of pages long. This is just a summary right here. Again, I'll put it right here. Absolutely. That's great. I guess I can show people out there. And if you're watching on prisonplanet.tv, if not, just go to the CDC site and type in possible side effects from vaccines. It's got everything from headaches, abdominal pain, bleeding, diarrhea, death, allergic reactions, autoimmune disorders, comas, nonstop fever, seizures, coma, lowered consciousness. And there it is, seizures, coma. I mean, I can just go on and on. I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, go read it. Gardasil, fainting, convulsions, people have been dying from it. I mean, go read it. But they just said, Dr. Glidden, that this doesn't exist, that we're conspiracy mongers. What do you say to that?
I say that they're liars and that they should be thrown in jail for endangering public health because the facts of the matter are clear. There have been over $5 billion in money paid out in legal settlements for negative reactions to the flu vaccine, just the flu vaccine. I'm not talking about hepatitis or any other type of vaccine, just the flu vaccine, because it caused something called Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is paralysis, and they proved that it was related to the influenza vaccine and awarded over $5 billion in damages. Furthermore, check this out. This is a direct quote from Dr. J. Anthony Morris, who formerly the chief vaccine control officer at the FDA. This was the guy that was in charge of the vaccination department at the FDA, and here is a direct quote. I quote, "There is no evidence that any influenza vaccine thus far developed is effective in preventing or negating any attack of influenza. The producers of these vaccines know that they are worthless, but they go on selling them anyway," end quote. It is a gigantic scam of biblical proportions. Big Pharma is in bed with the vaccine makers, and you shouldn't trust them.
Well said. When we come back, I'm going to give you the floor because you sent me a lot of documents. I'm going to be showing document cam shots of this, but also quoting where people can get it of their radio listener. But, folks, this is a life and death situation. You know, you've heard the news say there's no side effects, period. We're conspiracy theorists. Go read the CDC website. It says it'll kill you.
You are the resistance.
Oh, he's good. Oh, man, I love these reporters. Okay, well, there you go. Great job. I told him not to use that clip of me going really crazy with a sledgehammer, but we'll post it up at Infowars.com now that it's out. Okay, let's get into the serious news. Saving lives, Dr. Glidden holding while I've been ranting. Get into the flu shot, the history of it, and where this is going, because as you know, the reason I said yesterday, I said we'd be proud to get Dr. Glidden on tomorrow, and thanks for coming on short notice. They're lying in Colorado and in Rhode Island, saying it's the law, first responders, anybody at a hospital that works there or comes there, cops, has to take a flu shot. And they're lying, saying it's the law to take it to go to school. So the fraud is intensifying, even as all the news came out, as you know. Well, I mean, just go over what's going on. You've got the floor for the balance of the transmission, Dr. Glidden.
Thanks so much, Alex. Well, look, here's the deal. You know, drugs are like guns. There's nothing wrong with drugs per se. It's like guns. There's nothing wrong with a gun. It's how it's used. Well, it's the same with prescription medication. It's the same with vaccinations. If they worked, no problem. But guess what? They don't work. Numerous studies have shown that with the influenza vaccine, at best, there is a 9% effectiveness. 9%. That's a very small number. The only reason that the flu shot is advocated because the pharmaceutical companies are in bed with the government. The government gives them sweetheart deals, gives them millions of dollars a year to manufacture the influenza vaccine. It's a sweetheart deal. They get all of your money, all of your tax money. The government gives it to them. They make the influenza vaccine. Now they got to sell it. They've got it. They've got to move it. So they give you misinformation, misdirection, smoke and mirrors. Oh, it's really good. Oh, it does all of this. Well, guess what? It does not. And just a little bit of investigation on your part will show you. This is, you know, I sent Alex a bunch of stuff. You should have them posted up. Even just do a Google search for influenza ineffectiveness. The flu shot doesn't work. It's a bad idea. And, you know, if it didn't cause neurological damage, if it didn't cause severe respiratory distress, if it didn't cause Stevens-Johnson syndrome, if it didn't cause a whole host of net negative reactions, you know, no harm, no foul, but it does. It is a juvenile, old-fashioned, outdated, ineffective method for helping you protect yourself against the influenza virus, and really, it is a fool's errand to get yourself vaccinated for the flu.
What do you make of the lie of 36,000 dying a year when every doctor I talk to says it's about 1,100, and those are infirm people?
Well, this is the whole thing. I mean, you can cook the books. If you're a good statistician, you can cook the books in any way that you want if you're smart enough in order to make what you're presenting look like it's positive and effective. But when you drill down the data, when you take a hard and fast objective look at the research and you actually read it line by line, page by page, and you have a scientific a method of looking at it, the facts are a stubborn thing. The flu shot does not work. And, you know, now it's all about...
Okay, but I mean, everybody I know, and to make your point, I was just thinking, my uncle got a tetanus shot when he was little and it almost killed him. Everyone I know says, I don't take the flu shot, I took it and it almost killed me. I think that's what's hurting vaccines more than anything. People know they take them, they get real sick. I mean, people know in the trials of Gardasil it killed a bunch of people.
Well, but this is why they do direct-to-consumer advertising, because in the general population, there's only a small percentage of InfoWars listeners. There's only a small percentage of people that go to PrisonPlanet.com. There's only a small number of us who have woken up and who understand this. The vast majority of Americans have been dumbed down by decades of malnutrition, decades of crap in the food, crap in the air, crap in the water, and fluoride in order to make our IQs lower. So the average American citizen is going to believe whatever they read, and the media and the pharmaceutical companies are all in bed together. So look, folks, wake up. Facts are a stubborn thing. Knowledge is power. You don't know what you don't know. And when it comes to health and healing, the stuff you don't know will kill you or heal you. Do not take
But just recently,
vaccine.
They admitted that the #3 cause of death in the country was just infections in hospitals. But if you had drug interactions, doctor mistakes, and infections, we had John Rappaport, investigative journalist, on, it is the #1 cause of death, hands down. I know you've broken those numbers down. Conservatively, how many people does the medical system kill each year?
780,000. 780,000 people a year are killed from the medical system. The second leading cause of death, heart disease, 680,000. Third leading cause of death, cancer, 550,000, which means the medical profession is more dangerous than cancer, for goodness sake. Snap out of it. That's why Youngevity is going to change the world. That's why Youngevity is going to change the world.
And we'll break that down. There's ways to fight this with the proper vitamins, minerals, and trace elements. We break it down at InfoWarsHealth.com, and you break it down on your radio show. Doc, let's expand on this, though, and move through some of the other things I wanted to get you on about. The meningitis outbreak. They're actually saying because of fungal meningitis in a big pharma company, they now want us all to take more meningitis shots to go to college or have a job, when meningitis shots, from my research, whether it's viral, bacterial, or fungal vaccines, are some of the most dangerous on record vaccines.
Yeah, that's correct. And this latest outbreak of meningitis that's happening now, right, was caused by bad drugs, tainted drugs. People were getting steroid shots, steroid for joint pain. Are you kidding me? You know how old-fashioned that is? You know how many of my patients have needed a steroid shot for joint pain? Zero. So you give a steroid, you inject an anti-inflammatory into a bad joint, and if it's made from a compounding pharmacy or a pharmaceutical plant that has, you know, improper quality control standards, now the drug itself gives you meningitis. 14 people have died. 14 people have died. 214 people have become infected.
Yeah, I think it's 16 now.
It's crazy. And, you know, that nobody's asking the question, number one, why did they even need that shot in the first place? Well, if they were my patient, they wouldn't have needed that shot, because you don't get joint inflammation and musculoskeletal pain because you have a steroid deficiency. But this is how far down the rabbit hole we've gone in our objective.
Sure, to be clear, and I've worked for large animal vets, they'll tell you, you give something steroids long enough, it rots everything and then degenerates the whole body. But again, they're trying to mask a problem that's already there instead of go after the problem. Just like they're always saying, let's find the cure to breast cancer, not find out why it's exploded several thousand%, and the U.S. leads the world in it. What's happening with breast cancer? What's happening with the facts that everything's exploding?
Well, the reason, check this out, all right? We have given $600 billion of research money, $600 billion, that's almost $1 trillion of research money to the medical profession that doesn't even know how to cure heartburn. The MDs, the allopaths, Big Pharma, they can't even cure heartburn. They can manage it, but they can't cure it. We gave them $600 billion to try to cure cancer, and they don't even know how to cure heartburn? You got to be kidding me. We've taken the wrong dog to the hunt. Meanwhile, in 1998, there was an article published in JAMA. It showed that the mineral selenium, which is cheaper than dirt because it's made from dirt, reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. 82%.
And by the way, you said that on here a few months ago, and I didn't even know that. I went and looked it up, and there was mainline medical journals. They know all this. It's incredible.
Yeah, and how many women got that phone call from their MDs? Mary, you're not going to believe it. You wouldn't believe what I just read in JAMA. I want you to go to the health food store tonight. I want you to throw a brick through the window. I want you to get all the selenium that there is. Leave them a note. I'll pay for the window. Selenium, you need it. There's a history of breast cancer in your family. Take it. You need it. You know how many women heard that? Zero.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you. I literally, when I'm at a drugstore, because I live out in the country and that's all that's out there, so if I'm not going all the way into town to the grocery store, I've got to go to the local CVS. And I'm in there while they're shooting up little kids and stuff, and I've gotten to the point where I have to say something. And then the manager gets real mad, and I'm like, hey, guys, those vaccines don't protect you. You know, look at the studies, look at the connections to neurological disorders, Guillain-Barré. But they think it's like a sacrament, and they smile and they give them the shot, and it's like, you're good, you trust the system, you're doing something good for your kid, and we know they're hurting them, we know it's all a fraud. Well, it just came out that one of the big medical companies in California knew the MMR shot was giving people MMR on purpose, and that was their business plan. I mean, these people are just sickeningly evil, and there's all these useful idiots that think it's cute to trust a government and corporations that have been caught doing all this secret testing on us.
Yeah, and check this out, right? That's the stuff that we already know about what they put in the vaccines, and we already know that by and large they're ineffective, and by and large they're dangerous, and by and large they hurt us. But what about all the stuff that we have no idea at all about what they're putting in the vaccines? What about that stuff? If you trust the pharmaceutical companies to protect your health, you got your head in the sand, ladies and gentlemen. It's time you snapped out of it, woke up, and got a clue.
Now, let's break down, because, yes, it's the big solution. They know that our bodies need the building blocks I'm sure you heard about now, not just one case, there's more. Children bringing in the new kombucha. Up until a few years ago, it tasted great from India. My kids drink it, and it was something like 0.25% alcohol, 0.25%, which, I mean, wouldn't get a fish drunk if you put it in it. So many foods have more alcohol than that, fermentation. Now they've made them change it so it doesn't taste as good. There's almost no alcohol. It's something like, I forget. I mean, it's so incontestable. It's microscopic. I was reading on some last night. My kids were drinking, and it didn't even say any % of alcohol now that they've SWAT teamed them and stuff at the grocery stores. But they're now arresting, and threatening to arrest people with kombucha, a fermented tea drink or whatever that's probiotic and so good. But then meanwhile, I'm sure you saw in the New York Times, they're saying, let's just put all kids on drugs, not just kids with ADHD. What do you say to that?
Well, this is how far down the rabbit hole we have gone in this country in our abject genuflection at the altar of the myth of Big Pharma, right? We have been completely brainwashed. And now listen, I don't have any evidence to support this, but there has to be a thought control machine somewhere, because this stuff doesn't work. Drugs, the people that we go to for medical care, as it turns out, are the leading cause of death in the United States, and they have consistently failed to help us with our health. While we've let the pharmaceutical companies run our health, Alzheimer's has risen from obscurity to the 6th leading cause of death. Autism has jumped from 1 out of 10,000 to 1 out of 88. Everybody's got arthritis. Everybody's got obesity. Everybody's got high blood pressure.
Allergies, diabetes. I mean, and they're killing us.
Up and up and up every year. Why is this? Because you can't fix a nutrient deficiency disease with a drug. You can't do it.
And they know that, so they've taken the real minerals, trace elements, out of the foods, show that we're sick, so we have to go to them, and the average doctor is just a cult member. They have one of the lowest life expectancies out there. They're following their own witch doctor brew. It's back to throwing our kids, off cliffs to idols. Tell people about the products at InfoWarsTeam.com. They're discounted. We've got free shipping there for people that sign up for the auto ship. A lot of specials there on the Youngevity products, the entire catalog at InfoWarsHealth.com. But this really is a revolutionary secret. The things I've seen with people on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Pollen Burst Plus, the OsteoFX, all of it. It is so amazing. Briefly, we're about to go to break. What are some of the things that are known to cause these illnesses that are deficiencies?
Well, there are over 278 diseases that are caused by a simple calcium deficiency. Over 278 diseases caused by a simple calcium deficiency. Let me give you the rundown. Most of the time, high blood pressure is a simple calcium and magnesium deficiency. Ringing in the ears, a simple calcium and magnesium deficiency. Vertigo, dizziness, a simple calcium and magnesium deficiency. Heartburn, a simple calcium and magnesium deficiency. Arthritis, osteoporosis, osteopenia. Heartburn, for goodness sake, it's calcium deficiencies. You don't have a bad gene. You haven't been cursed by God. You went to the wrong doctor. You took the wrong dog to the hunt. Snap out of it. Take the Youngevity nutritional supplements. Clean up your diet. Get the heck out of the way and let your body fix itself, because it can.
Absolutely. I mean, Ted Anderson was going to have knee surgery, and after taking Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and OsteoFX, the leg is back to normal. Aaron Dykes lost 98 pounds. It's not even advertised as weight loss. I've lost over 40 pounds. It is simply amazing. InfoWarsHealth.com. It is a revolution of research and understanding that Dr. Wallach and others have developed. The entire catalog, InfoWarsHealth.com.
Everything we said came true. Everything we
Accounts 877-551-1301. Doc, some of the other outrages, though, I mean, there's so much going on that it's so over the chart, so off the chart, where they just get away with anything. I mean, every day studies how this is killing us, that's killing us, how they knew this drug would kill kids that took it, for asthma and didn't help anybody, and AIDS and the factor 8. And I mean, it's just the big pharma is just monstrous, but they're so big and they run the government. I mean, they really are at the heart of this whole thing. And I know what it is. It's eugenics, Doc.
Well, you know what they say, Alex, steal a little and they throw you in jail, steal a lot and they make you king, right? The pharmaceutical industry is so big, man, they funded World War II. They funded World War II. It is gigantic money. It is gigantic money. And that's why Dr. Wallach, that's why I love Dr. Wallach so much, because, you know, he discovered the cause and the cure for cystic fibrosis in 1972. It turns out it's a selenium deficiency in the blood of the pregnant mother. It causes chromosomal damage in the fetus. And when he came forth with that information, they fired him.
Dr. Peter Glidden. Doc, what are some of the other, from the studies that are out there, deficiencies and trace mineral things that they know about? I mean, just a laundry list. What are the most common things that people are deficient in, and they get these diseases, and no one ever tells them, hey, you might need better nutrition? I mean, they've done studies. I've seen them that hospitals have the worst food of anywhere, even prisons. Why is that?
Well, the fact of the matter is, Alex, fasten your seatbelt. $25 million of federally funded research conducted from 1970 to 1982. They did 26,000 autopsies, 10 million blood chemistries and histopathologies. It took 12 years. It was a massive amount of data recovery, 12 years. This research unequivocally proved that all chronic diseases are caused by nutrient deficiencies. You got a chronic disease, you don't have a bad gene, you haven't been cursed by God. It's not because you're getting older, it's because your body ran out of the raw materials that it needed to fix itself. Everything. High blood pressure, arthritis, osteoporosis, fibromyalgia, ADD, infertility, anxiety and panic attacks, type 2 diabetes. You name it.
I know multiple women whose hair was falling out until they went on the Youngevity products, and then their hair all came back, their skin glows, their nails grow faster. I mean, it is unbelievable. And the system knows this, but a lot of the doctors don't. You know, they die, at record young, or one of the shortest-lived groups across racial and ethnic lines. What's going on with these doctors?
Well, the problem is that the MDs, bless their hearts, are only trained in the application of pharmaceuticals and surgery. MDs have no training in medical nutrition at all. They have very few of them because they're not trained in it, have any respect or appreciation for it. So, you know, the MDs have thrown the baby out with the bathwater. They're good at trauma. They're good at surgery when surgery is necessary. They're excellent at that. But for everything that people go to the doctor for, high blood pressure and arthritis and fibromyalgia and obesity and asthma, et cetera, they've got nothing for it, because all that they're trained in is how to manage symptoms with drugs. They don't know anything about medical nutrition. And as it turns out, the majority of chronic diseases are caused by not enough nutrition. Your body's just run out of the stuff it needs to keep your heart healthy. It's run out of the stuff it needs to keep your joints healthy. So your joints break down, your heart breaks down. It's the same with your car, for goodness sake. You put the stuff back in, your body gets better. I've been doing this for 24 years. And since I've aligned myself with Dr. Wallach in the last 4 years, and I've followed Dr. Wallach's therapeutics and use the Youngevity family of supplements, as God is my witness, Alex, I don't even know what planet I'm on anymore, because the things that I've seen people recover from with science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition will make you cry.
Well, it is revolutionary, and I promote things that I believe in, things that I use, things that I've seen incredible responses from. And my father, who's a dentist, marvels at the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Pollen Burst Plus, all of it. So many people I know have just had phenomenal responses with it. And the thing is, it's hiding in plain view. And my wife, just last weekend, we were down in San Antonio, and she took some Beyond Tangy Tangerine. She goes, man, and like at 20 minutes later, she goes, yeah, that stuff is incredible. It makes me feel so good. And, folks, it's not hype. Try it, InfoWarsHealth.com. And know that when you get it there, you can get it discounted and get the free shipping and things like that when you sign up for AutoShip. The profit that we make from it funds the media organization, and you're voting with your dollars. So it's all there at InfoWarsHealth.com. Visit InfoWars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.